6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, we're waiting. Rock and roll!
6 o'clock already, it was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. My I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Welcome back to Death Curse Society and another edition of Monday Maniacs. Welcome to some of the new people that it look like are here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We got a big show ready for you guys. I got the Colonel and I got Zigzag.
Oh,
What up? What up, guys?
Oh, just excited for tonight. Be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's exciting for sure, man. You usually don't see this caliber of people coming on a show like this, and it's cool that they will. And we're gonna fucking get to it and really pick the brains and find out what the hell's going on and why.
Yep.
Or why would you want to return to the Friday the 13th series? And thank you for doing it. Damn.
Yeah, we normally don't have this kind of caliber, and honestly, we're going to be missing about 1/4 of the caliber because we literally, not even 10 minutes ago, got word that Lar Park Lincoln is not going to be able to join us. She's not feeling all that great. We'll get into it a little bit more later when Peter gets here and tells us a little bit more about it, but I guess she is needing neck surgery pretty soon, and she's hurting. So she's going to step out tonight, but hopefully we may be able to get her on at a later date, or we'll catch her at a con, and we'll definitely hammer her with some questions there.
Yes.
And but we do still have Terry Kiser, Kevin Spirtas, and writer-director Peter Anthony coming in, and we're going to be talking about Roseblood here in just a little bit.
Ooh.
I want to say one thing real quick. They are still raising funds for their legacy campaign on Indiegogo. I just threw the link to that in the comments. Make sure to hit and click on that and give those guys some love. Buy a DVD and get ready for this film because, man, I don't normally get excited for fan films, but this one, something different about this one. I don't know quite what it is, but I'm anxious to find out what.
Right.
Same feeling there, Ziggy?
Oh, man. And just to start with the perks that they have over there in your campaign that they're raising, they have all kinds of stuff from the DVD. There's a really cool handcrafted pendant you can get that I'm eyeballing. I think that's where I'm heading. I haven't decided yet. But you can actually get some screen-used gear like a saw blade. They're going to have all kinds of fun with this movie. And I can't wait to talk to this guy, and see what possessed him to do this. But his approach to it's been very cool. We've seen lots of guys come our way. Everyone's like, hey, check it out. I'm making a Friday the 13th movie. And we're like, yeah, okay. And then we start to see things come out. This one stood apart right away. We started noticing when he was sending us pictures and shots from the set and everything. It's like, this guy looks like he got it together here. So let's see where this goes. And I'm glad we've got to this.
Yeah, we will definitely find out. It looks like Andy's here. Tyrone, Colonel, you feel the same way about this film?
No, definitely. Did you guys know I do not like fan films that much. Here's how much faith I have in this one. Okay, let me try to get it right. I have promo on my fucking wall. All right,
you got it on the wall.
That is saying something to me. I'm fucking pumped. I like what he's doing here. I like the story, and I want to see what he's got. I want to see what he's got, and we will have questions. Hopefully, I'm going to try to get a spoiler or two out tonight, but I don't think it's going to work.
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
Artwork. Yeah, I like this artwork they've got going for it. So,
and that was the thing. I mean, right away, just take a look at their Jason. You can see, okay, damn, man, that looks fucking intimidating. And
right.
So, shit, I was right there, pretty much sold on it. And then as we've been seeing the stuff getting rolled out, it looks like it's going to be a good one, man.
Yeah. Along with Andy and Tyrone and FaZe, we got Tanya and Megan Clifton. Hello, Clifton. Welcome to the show.
Okay.
I don't recognize that name, but maybe he's been in here a couple of times.
Hey,
Stacy is back. James, John. Great way to end the Maniac Monday. That's right. Right here with us.
Baby.
Thank you, John. Patricia's here. Kiara. Patrick. What up, Patrick? How are you? Seth is here. Seth from the Horror Syndicate. If you guys don't tune into them, you guys should every now and then. They are on Thursdays, correct?
Yep, Thursdays. Horror Syndicate Discourse.
That's right.
I think it's Candyman this week they're doing. Something on that, ranking them up. So, yeah, that should be fun.
Probably, yeah. Tommy Click is here. What up, Tommy?
What up, Tommy?
Patrick is, man, we got a little, about a year, man, but he says, I can't wait to get to hang out with you guys at the OKC HorrorCon. We'll be there. We will be there.
Just wait. Just wait till you see what's coming with that. When you add the Colonel to the mix, all bets are off.
Woo. All bets are off, baby. Dave is here and James is here. All right, let me get the sales pitch out of the way just in case somebody comes in. Oh, they should be sneaking in here very quickly. But thank you guys for watching Death Curse Society. Make sure to follow us on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and, of course, YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscription bell. Not that bell. Not that bell. This bell. That's the bell we're talking about. Yeah, that works a little bit better. Also, make sure to visit our website at deathcursesociety.com where you can catch up with all the cool stuff we got going on, past videos. Our podcast is on there. Lots of stuff. You can become a member on there by going over to join and become a member of the society. You can be a camp counselor, a crazy Ralph, and a final girl or guy. And we will mention our final girls and guys here in a moment. Each perk has their own little, or each level has their own perks. Check it out and see what you think. Get over to our store at shop.deathcursesociety.com where we got t-shirts, all kinds of other stuff. And yeah. I'm actually not wearing a DCS shirt tonight, but it's a special occasion.
I of all the shirts, I think it's a part 7 I don't have out of all of them. So, I mean,
And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and multiple other locations. If you don't subscribe to Death Curse Society,
Burn in hell for that,
that's right. You'll burn in hell. No,
No,
you won't. Not really. Not really. It's not that bad of a discretion, I guess. But and finally, let me thank our current members that we've got. Special thanks to our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, and Tyrone. I like how this list gets bigger almost every week.
yes.
Our crazy Rouse, Angelo and Peter, and our camp counselors, S. Michael, Kiara, and Dave. Kiara, also, hope you had a lovely birthday last week. And you don't. Hopefully you don't feel too old for finally getting into your 20s.
20s.
20. I know. I'm like,
Must be rough, right?
I have shirts older than this girl.
We all have shirts older than this girl.
but that's a great thing. It's great for the war community.
That's right.
And she has good taste in movies.
She does. She's
Well,
welcome
hey.
here.
We got a sneaky one in here already.
Oh boy.
We'll get to Peter whenever he gets in here, but he's not here yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, star of Friday the 13th Part 7, A New Blood, and co-creator also of a TV series recently called After Forever, Mr. Kevin Spirtas is on the show. Welcome, sir.
Kevin.
Hi, gang. How are you?
How are you tonight?
I'm great. I'm trying to say Red Crank at the same time, and it didn't come out great. Anyway, just clarification: the digital series is on Amazon Prime. It's called After Forever. There's 2 seasons, and the 3rd season is going to be shot in spring of 2022.
Yes.
Excellent.
I just said that, like 2022. I've got
Right.
shirts older than 2022. It's a callback there.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but I like this new meme rolling around that's like, a guy running and it says, I'm still trying to process 2020. And then it has the guy like catching up behind him and it says 2022 is right there.
Right. That's every year, though. That's every year. I mean, 2020 was just even more crazy. And,
yeah,
I got to tell you, it's a new way of living. We are requested to wear our masks here in Los Angeles. I take it with me. I have them in the car. I get out of my car and I walk 3 steps and I go, oh, totally got to turn back around. It's just something that's still not even in us yet because we're just now getting to do that part. We were inside for so long.
Yeah. It's been a very strange transition and it's spawned a lot of new technology.
Spawned. You used the word there. See, I caught
Yes, it brought up a lot of new technology. So we're using stuff like this, like Zoom and StreamYard and things just to communicate and have stuff going on.
Now, I see it says Terry Kiser and Kevin Spiritas. That's incorrectly spelled. There's only one eye. God, I'm leaving.
That's it.
There's only one eye. I'm on the way.
Anyway, where are you at, Red Crank?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Okay. What part?
I live in Stillwater, actually, the home of Oklahoma State University.
Okay. And where's the Colonel?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
You're still in Cincinnati. God
That's it.
love you. God love you. And Zaggy?
Yes, I am 20 miles west of Detroit, Michigan.
Yes. That's...
There. See, it's fixed now. See,
Yay!
see, that's how we roll.
I was still mourning 20 miles outside of Detroit, Michigan. But where is that? Where is that actually?
It's called Westland, where I'm at. If you've ever been around, I don't know if you've ever been here, but it's like I'm very close to the airport.
And that's convenient.
Yeah.
Any airport.
Yep.
Well, where's my
hey.
gang? They said come on at 5:15 my time, 8:15
Yeah.
your time.
Yeah.
Looks like
lizards.
Peter's running a little behind, and so is Terry. But we'll get them in here in a minute. But
Nope.
let me ask you something real quick.
Sure.
You know, Nick was only one of 2 characters to survive a New Blood. So were you surprised?
The new
A New Blood. Were you surprised?
The-
Or the New Blood? Excuse me.
I'm a stickler.
The New Blood. Were you surprised when Peter reached out to you about reprising your role for Roseblood, and how did that first pitch go?
You know, the person who reached out to me was Lar.
Huh.
Lar
Okay.
called me and she said, "Hey, Kevin." She just said, "There's a gentleman named Peter Anthony, and he's done some really great work, and he's created this new sequel to our specific sequel, Part 7.
Mhm.
And have a look at the stuff, and you should call him." And you know, I was quite honored. You know, work begets work. I got to see Lar again. I got to hang with Terry. I mean, I'm gonna see Terry tonight. It is,
Mhm.
it's amazing how the crossing point of work or just being in someone's life is a forever and ever and ever and ever. And this is just something that keeps, you know, there's some other things that are coming up in my particular career that I can't yet talk about, but it's all about the universal crossing point.
Nice.
It was great.
Well, we were looking for someone to show up, and they did. So, welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Writer-director of Roseblood, Mr. Peter Anthony. Come on in, sir.
Hello.
Oh, he's properly equipped. Look at this guy.
Scotch.
Oh man.
Scotch.
Vodka.
Hell yeah.
It's water.
Is that vodka, Kevin? I was gonna say straight out the bottle. Damn.
I can't do that quite this early, so
It's
or
fizzy
the show
water.
would go off the rail.
Hi, Peter Anthony. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you? Emmy Award winner.
Oh.
4-time, but
Oh,
who's counting?
Who's counting? Who's counting?
In one of the other interviews, I was showing my little pop I have in the background. I was like bragging. Meanwhile, Kevin, look behind Kevin on his fridge. He's got like 4 or 6 Emmys sitting on the fridge.
Hey,
Very
they just
nice.
asked me, Peter, how it was to come back and play Nick, and I told him it was, you know, Lar had reached out to me, and then I reached out to you, and I said as long as I can have the jean jacket, you know, we're going to be good. So, but you wrote a great script. You had a lot of heart in it, and it's going to pay off.
Thanks. We got a little surprise for you later on that I sent these
Oh.
guys.
oh yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I didn't want Death
Yeah.
Curse Society to just be another interview. I wanted to give him something special nobody else had. You know, and the idea was to make the Colonel smile because I've never seen him smile yet. So hopefully,
That happens rarely.
He's in Cincinnati. Come on.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and it's always covered too. I mean, it's like he's
That's
probably
true.
smiling. You can't really see it though under the grizzle.
Grizzle.
He is the bearded menace.
Yep.
I've been very feral since 2020. We'll just say feral looking.
And then Lar's been like apologizing up and down on my phone. If anybody knows Lar, without getting into details, she's had a lot of procedures just like I have over the years. And sometimes your body just doesn't allow you to do certain things. So she's like so sorry. She's like, tell him I apologize. Tell him I'm sorry. I'm like, I'll tell him, no big deal.
No worries.
Big
We
deal.
understand. We wish her a speedy recovery.
Yes.
And
Lar, go. No,
now that would be funny.
She deserves a little rest. She's working.
She does. And I was telling these guys, maybe we'll bump into her at a con sometime in the next few months, and we might be able to get her some questions then about
Right.
this project. So
I'm sure, knowing her being such a sweetheart, she'll probably like give you guys a rain check on this. Just
Oh,
even
that's
down the
cool.
road. So.
And
Yeah.
any question you had for her, I will be happy to answer.
All right. Well, all right. It looks like we got the full room in here. Man,
Oh, baby.
this one's crazy. I can't believe this guy's joining us. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. The Dr. Asshole from Friday the 13th Part 7. No offense. And everyone's favorite dead guy, Bernie, Mr. Terry Kiser.
Oh, my
Hello,
God.
sir.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, guys. It's nice to be here. I'm in.
Nice to
Colorado
have
right
you
now.
here.
Yeah. I'm in Colorado, and it's a beautiful evening.
Good.
So
Very
where's everybody?
We got
Terry.
Zigzag in Detroit. Colonel is in Cincinnati. I'm in Oklahoma. And then wherever Kevin and Peter are.
Right here.
Connecticut.
And I see Mr. Anthony there.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
the dear Mr. Anthony, isn't he special?
He is.
How was Crypticon, Mr. Kiser?
It was fine, sir. I was in Houston doing a little film, and then I went to Crypticon in Seattle, and it was the first one I went to that everybody had to be vaccinated. I mean, from artists to our audience. So
Wow.
everybody that came in got a thing on the head for fever or whatever. But everybody had a wristband, and everybody was vaccinated. First time that happened. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington. We've got a buddy in Washington State. He says that governor is hardcore about it. Like, he wants people to be safe. Go
I think
figure,
we
right?
should- I think we should be hardcore about it. I think we should.
I agree.
Hardcore.
Do
Period.
get your shot. Cut it out.
Yeah,
get your
stop it.
shot.
Ridiculous.
Hey, the DCS completely vaccinated. We all went and had it done. So, yeah, we're on board. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Bravo.
Absolutely.
Lar, you don't have to get vaccinated.
I love this. This is going to be the returning callback joke of the night. Let's do it, man. This is great.
What's great is he probably has a little poodle over there that he just named Lar, and that's his dog running around.
He does have a little dog.
My cat is
cat.
hey Terry.
Yes, sir.
It's great to see you, my friend. And
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And the movie was successful.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun cameo part in this film, and it was funny and fun. So that's nice. That's nice.
That's good.
And I'm on my way to do another film, The Disappearance of a Peeping Tom.
Yes.
Police Road.
Yeah, it's a very pool orientated type of film, beautifully written, and being shot up in New Hampshire. That I'll go up there and do that. But yeah, I was very, very delighted to get that film.
I actually have a question about that later, because I heard about that recently, and I was curious about that.
Uh-huh.
Terry, I wonder who else is who's your chauffeur for that movie?
I have a guy that doesn't have any hair on his head. That's gonna pick me up. And
Multi.
I'm sitting in the back seat because I don't trust him, my driver. I don't trust his hands. I don't trust anything about him.
Oh, do not
And
trust
so-
Peter's hands.
No. I will be in the trunk, probably as far away as I can be. But he is going
Terry,
to
you
drive me,
played
yes.
that part before. You've been in the trunk a couple of times.
I did.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
That's true.
I know the director and the creator of the movie. The Terry's. I'm actually have a small part in it too, but nobody cares. And Damien Mafia from The Strangers 2. And from Wrong Turn, and from he's in it also, and Felissa, and they're like, "Hey, Terry's coming, no." I said, "I'll go get him in the airport, man." They're like, "Would you?" I'm like, "I'll get him, bring him back, bring him to set every single day." I only live like 30 minutes from there, and they're like, "Oh, really?" Yeah. So I called Terry. I'm like, "Mr. Kiser, is it okay if I pick you up from the airport?" And he's like, "There's just one condition." And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "I get to take you out to dinner." I said, "Fine with me."
Done. Done and done.
Terry
Yeah.
Kiser.
Done,
He is
done.
you are the gentleman of gentlemen, Mr. Kiser.
Yes.
A mensch among menches.
Well, listen, to having
Love
Kevin here, my beautiful Kevin, it's always good to share the screen with him. I'll tell you that.
Very nice. Very nice. Well,
I'm just gonna be a
Peter-
love that.
Peter, let me get started with you if I can. What first inspired you to write a Friday the 13th fan film or create one?
Wow.
We talked about it
What's the matter
before.
with you?
Seven's one of my favorite films of all time. Kane Hodder, became friends with him. I'm decent friends with him now, and we'll eat and drink at cons. And there is no better looking Seven. Sorry, like no better looking Jason than Seven. People might shit on that. Some people have it as one of their best films. Some people don't like the film. No better look. And like I said before, that last 10-15 minutes with Jason is just brutal and out of control and crazy. Mr. Kiser, who is just the sweetest guy ever, plays the biggest asshole ever. Lar Park Lincoln acts without talking. Kevin is the great looking savior boyfriend coming in with the nice perfect hair, with the cutoff sleeve shirt.
Terry and I had dark hair at that time. Anyway,
and then you have like Never Hike Alone did almost like their own version. Vengeance did a part 6. Fall Camp Blood did a 4. Jason Rising's like 1 through 4, I think. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm like 7. And people are like, that's crazy, dude. How are you gonna do 7 with Tina and telekinesis and the outfit? I'm like, I'm doing it. So that's kind of how it started. And then my producer Sean, which Kevin and Terry has met, Sean Lutzis and his family, they built that building for us and they gave us the whole set, and that's their whole property. And it just kind of took off from there. So I wanted to go over the top. I said, if I'm gonna go over the top, I'm gonna go with 7.
And let me ask a question if I can.
Sure.
Mr. Anthony, how did you decide to direct this film instead of just producing it?
Great question. I didn't want to direct it. So I don't know, Kevin and Mr. Kiser, how to turn on that camera. I don't know how to turn on I have no idea. I never went to school. I didn't even know what writing was it Final Draft. I have to ask somebody for it. So I called Riley Lorden, who's the director on Fall of Camp Blood. I said, dude, I could probably write this script because I'm pretty good Friday the 13th fan. I know 7. I could probably come up with something. Can you direct it? And he's like, yeah. And then I started writing and I started doing props. And then I made a 3D thing in my garage of each character in each room, how they would come through each room. And I would do it all. And he's like, dude, you do it. I'm like, well, what do you mean do it? I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. And he's like, dude, you can do it. He goes, a director doesn't mean, it just means you're good with people. You just know how to direct people. And once he said that, I'm like, I can do that. Because then I get people that are just way smarter, better than me at everything. So that's kind of what, and it's true. I mean, once you get really good people on board, it becomes like a family. I think Kevin and Terry, Mr. Kiser, could tell you that set was like really family-ish.
Yes,
Good.
it was.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and then you were able to use Riley as the DP for it, correct?
He was first assistant and assistant director. So the DP was Cody Newman.
Okay.
I want to jump back to Peter creating this sequel to Part 7, because I think you did take on a lot. I think you took on a lot of layered storyline. From everything from the bratty kids to the psychic, telekinetic heroine, and then people were like, "There's a monster," and it was just it was there in front of you. And then what you did to bring and fold us back into the story, I think took a very, very keen and precise idea. And that's where I think, whether you're the writer or you're the director only, that vision starts to happen in your head. You see it happening. You know where it's going to, exactly, you're running in your mind, and that's what's happening. You say, I'll just direct that.
It's so funny you say that.
You're fine.
Your level obviously is much higher than mine, but it's funny you say that, because there was times we were in a room and I listened a lot to everybody. So I'll listen to Sean, I'll listen to the director of photography, I'll listen to Jason Brooks, who's our Jason. I want to 4 minds are better than 1. So, but then sometimes I know the answer. And it's just like, you wish you could take your head like a USB, like you're saying, Kevin, and just throw it to their head and go, I reran every goddamn scenario in there 40 times. Like, this is the only way. So.
Well, I think the vision was born in your head, and you can only see it the way you know how to see it. And that's what I think you ended up doing. At least in the 2 minutes that I've seen.
Nice.
A little more of you today.
Okay, let me get over to Terry for a minute then. Hal, you're dead. Your character's dead, right?
Yes. Well,
that's what everyone wants to know.
We have
the secret.
We have our speculation. We did speculate quite a bit on this. We went back and forth, and I think we're pretty locked in on what it is. We're not going to say, but how did that, when he's pitching this to you, how does that not go, wait a minute?
You know, well, I'll tell you how he pitched it to me. I
That's
was
what I
in
wanna
I
hear.
was in a car line for Starbucks with my dog. I have a Bernese Mountain Dog, a very big
Big
dog,
dog.
and I say a cappuccino, please, and a puppuccino. And they say, "Oh, Mr. Kiser," they even recognize me now because I go there, And as I'm in line, about 2 cars before I pay and stuff like this, I get a call from Mr. Anthony. And he says, "Terry, we're doing this thing." I said, "Wait just a second. Yeah, puppuccino and a cappuccino. Correct. And so I'm feeding dogs and drinking and trying to get out of the line while he's talking, and he won't shut up. He just keeps talking and talking. And finally, I didn't understand anything he said. And he says, "Is that okay?" And I said, "Yeah, that's okay." And I hung up on him. I had listened enough, but I guess I had accepted a part in the movie, which I didn't know. So there I go.
That's actually a true story.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Lar is like the genesis, as Kevin was saying, to the whole thing. Because Lar, I didn't know Lar wrote actual part 8. Did you guys know that?
I wrote a part 8 too.
Oh, that's right. You told me that too. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Wow.
So,
We didn't get them produced.
Lar wrote a part 8. Kevin wrote a part 8. Lar's part 8 was very similar to mine. So because like in my brain, like once her and Kevin left, like the army would know stuff's up. They would have Dr. Cruz's notes. They would know something weird went on. They would intervene, and weaponize it.
Yeah.
So to me, Lar's like, that's what I wrote. She's like, I gave it to the studio. They didn't want nothing to do with it. Lar was very scared. They approached her for 8. She was very scared they were going to do an Adrian King to her and kill her off because they wouldn't give her anything. So she's like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. She's like, I've been waiting 30 years for this script. I'm like, my script? I just wrote it in my underwear a few days ago. So that was
I hope you I hope you transferred the script from your underwear to actual paper before you sent it to Lar.
I did. And all that.
But also, Peter, 7 was the first story it was the first installment of Friday the 13th where there was another story spinning other than Jason killing people.
Correct.
And who's your mother? Blah 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 blah. And Betsy Palmer. That was all. It was all the same note, in my opinion, for many episodes, for many installments. And then this came along, and I think Beekler had a really great idea, and they threw it together, and it came together. And then I think even if Terry wasn't ordering his, I think the way it reads in the script is it's layered in perfectly, and it makes perfect sense. And that's all I'm saying.
Without giving it away, and you guys are pretty smart. And when you saw trailer 2, you guys got a much bigger idea of what's going on. But
trailers are great.
yeah. So we didn't want to say it, but once the movie unfolds, I mean, this is. I hope it's a lot more story driven than you think. It's literally like 80% is story driven, so it's a little different than other Jasons for sure. And I'll tell you now, there's no drugs, there's no nudity, there's no sex. There's just this story and just Jason. I want you to be in with the characters because so many Friday the 13th films, you're not in with the characters. I know it's really tough with fan films too. You're all over the place. You never really feel for anybody. But Kevin's right. You feel for Kevin and Tina in that film. And that's
why did you make me take my shirt off then? If there's no,
I was going to say, I have a whole scene.
What the hell was that about?
I have a whole scene where I make it with a bear. What?
And
what is this? I'm
speaking of,
and he's messing with the bear. Yeah, what is that?
Speaking of, I think that's the perfect time to roll the clip that we've got because it features all of those cutscenes.
I sent them a clip.
No, I'm kidding. It's not the naked Kevin clip.
And 1 second, Mr. Kiser, here it is. I just sold your pen a few days ago on the site.
Thank you. How much did you get for it?
What did we get for it? $100-something?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Not bad.
By the way, guys, they're still doing some Indiegogo campaign funding. I'll throw the link to that in the comments again. Let you guys click on that later and find some stuff. There's the eyeball that's for sale right now.
Yes.
Oh, man. Nice.
Aye, Captain.
Well,
he smiled. I saw it.
Yeah, he does every now and then. It's very fleeting though.
Red Crank, you growing the beard?
No, I'm just been lazy the last couple of weeks. I don't do much, so I'll shave before I have to go host another show somewhere. But yeah, it's just, yeah. Colonel, do you have a question for any of these three?
This is for Terry and Kevin. I know we kind of touched on it with Peter. How was it like working with Peter, his first time director? No, be honest, okay?
Yeah.
So be nice and say, "Oh, he was great."
Kevin, I'll let you go first, my old friend.
Okay. I think I have nothing bad to report. Peter was the writer, the director, the producer. He was the greeter at the door. He was the guy who was calling me before I came to the set, saying, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do," and and we got it all. I don't know. There's one moment that I really wanted to aim for, and it got forgotten about in the turning around. You know what I'm talking about. And it would have been a really good play on, but that the film is not going to fail because of it. It just I wanted to give a callback to where we had come from, and then all of a sudden we were like, "Whoa!" But it's all good.
Kevin,
really
we can
good.
talk about it if it's okay with you.
I had an idea and I pitched it to Peter and he goes, "That's fantastic!" And then time ran out.
So there's one thing I can tell you is I slept 12 or 15 hours in 9 days.
Welcome to showbiz.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
I don't have a DP. I don't have an AD. I don't have assistants. I don't have anything. Right. So it's so much on my plate and so much going on.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you the scene. Kevin said, "Hey, we worked on his jean jacket from part 7. So he says, "Hey, what if we can incorporate me being tugged like Jason did going up the stairs and ripping my jacket?" I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
There's
I'm like,
there's a hand that comes in at the last minute that
yeah. So I'm like, we'll shoot everything and then we'll shoot that and we'll see how it looks. So you get so busy, the director of photography does stuff, and then all of a sudden we're like, "That's a wrap." And Kevin's like, what happened with what are we gonna do with that? I'm like, "Oh,
what happened to
my God, I forgot it."
Damn it.
There's so many things when I look back now, I just want to kill myself.
But you know what? Listen. Again, you are absolutely. You're running this world other than the world you know, and I don't. That's the only thing that I would say. Like, oh, I wish we could have, but you know what? It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, but you know me. You saw all the props and all the stuff that I did. How much I want to throw back to 7, and that would have been just perfect. And I fucked it up. I'm just gonna go shoot myself right now.
I had more trouble working. I had more trouble working with Lar than you. So it was no. I got to kiss Lar again, and that was fun. And that was fun. We had a good time. And Terry.
Kevin was the prettiest person on set, woman or male.
Thank you very much.
I had a funny Lars story. I was hoping she'd be here tonight. Back in the day, when I was like 16, I get dragged over to my girlfriend's house and lured over there and end up getting stuck between her and her mom on the couch watching fucking Knots Landing, right?
Oh yeah.
And here she is. So, a year later, here comes Friday the 13th, part 7. I'm all like, "Hey, that's the chick from Knots Landing." And all my friends are just like, yeah, man. So thanks for that,
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to tell you what I thought of him as a director?
Sure.
Absolutely.
We got on the set, and he said, "This is where we're going to do it, Terry." And I said, "Just be quiet a second. And if you could you be quiet a second, please, Mr. Anthony? And if you could move it, be quiet, Mr. Anthony. I am trying to find something here. Wait a minute." And we got along real fine because he was very quiet, and he let me do what I wanted to do. And I thought, golly, that is so nice of him. What is his name again? It's Anthony, Mr. Anthony. Gotcha. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know. He was telling me. I said, "Be quiet. Let me think a second." And I didn't know him from a crate of eggs. And but it all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that creative process that he's talking about is just genius. So him and Lar in the room going back and forth. So you guys saw the trailer, right? It was his idea to get crazy and physical and imposing and yell that Tina line, which you guys saw in the trailer. And I look at now, I'm cutting the film. We had the first cut. And like, ugh. And then we cut it again, and it's yay now. But now I'm on the third cut. So, and man, I cannot even envision that the movie without him saying that. So he came to me. He's like, "Hey, do you think I can just yell Tina really loud in front of her face?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead. Try it. Let's see what happens." And he did it, and it was just absolutely amazing. There's another story, Mr. Kiser, too, where you're trying to get. I don't know that actors have like their zone and stuff, and I'm compared to these guys. So I don't know, he missed a line or something. I'm like, "You want me to get your line?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh," and then he just grabs the line and he. Throws it on the ground and he just nails it out all the time.
He's a professional.
Yeah. I learned that with professionals, you're not supposed to ask, "Do you want your line?" I learned that really, really quick.
Very nice. Very nice. Ziggy, you got a question for any of these three?
Sure. Actually, everybody. Terry, I'll start with Peter here. Like, when exactly did this start? When did you start getting this down on paper and everything? This idea.
So I came up with the idea, told Riley, he said, "Go for it." So the original idea was we were going to shoot Vengeance 2. So,
okay. I'm just trying to put the year together because I had more to it.
Yeah. We started in 110 days. I went from no movie idea script to shot.
Wow.
In 110 days. So Vengeance 2 was going to be shot. And what the world doesn't know, maybe Jason Brooks probably going to kill me, but I was supposed to be in Vengeance 2 and I was supposed to be alive.
Oh,
so and that was a big thing.
What happened there?
You never see me die, right?
Right.
So and then it was a big thing. I'm like, well, when I'm on set, if I have all these actors, what if I grab everybody in the old Vengeance shack and I make this 20-minute little short film? And that's what Jason said. Yes, thank God. And Sean said yes, and everybody said yes, and it just kind of grew. And then someone's like, "Why don't you get Lar?" I'm like, "How am I going to get her?" Called her up and she's like, "Oh my God, yeah, that sounds great." And then she like referenced me, So I gave her CJ Graham and Steve Dash's family and all them, and I said, "Here's our movie Vengeance. We're not just dudes in the backyard." So and then she loved it.
That should be the title of your studio. We're not just the. What did you say? Just not the.
Dude, we're not the dudes in the backyard. Yeah. So then we got her, and then everyone's like, "Why don't you go get Kevin?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ! How about thank you for getting like Tina? They're like, they're relentless." So I'm like, I don't know if I can get Kevin. So I go, Tina. I asked Lar, "Do you think we get Kevin?" She's like, "Yeah, I think so." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." So then she got Kevin, and then I'm like, "What about Mr. Kiser?" And she's like, "I think I can get him." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So she's like, "Here's his number, just call him." And that was the coffee thing, Yeah. And if you guys like, I seem kind of like an a-hole sometimes online and like off thing. I'm so excited like a child. They can tell you when I try to pitch the whole thing. I'm like,
"Oh man,
we got this and this and this and this and this, and we're gonna do this and that." So I get like they almost say yes to shut me up.
I mean, hey, when you approached us, man, and we're like, "Hey, I got this thing coming," we were just like, "Okay, here's another guy with another Friday fan film," and a couple of them, but right away, I mean, okay, here's Jason, here's our Jason, and I was like, "Whoa, all right, now that looks intimidating. This looks good," and then just watching your hustle go as you were trying to line things up, I was like, "All right, this guy is crazy, and he's gonna go for it." So yeah, I love it, man. And what I'm bringing it to is with like Halloween 2018, did that kind of help get this thing like kind of like, wow, look, here's a 40-year-old and story continued. It was a huge success, and we've got other ones coming the same way. A Texas Chainsaw. Did you guys, even Terry, Kevin, feel like, hey, this is going to be, let's do this. Let's get involved. Now is the time. We had Tom Matthews coming back, and some of these others. You got a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel coming. It's now the time for these type of films. Period.
I think it is, and I can share a little story that I did pass on to Mr. Anthony. That I think for all creative artists, it's just a delicious lesson. I had the opportunity to be in Paul Newman's first film called Rachel.
Oh, wow.
And I played an evangelist minister that talked in tongues. And
who's Paul Newman?
He's a guy just with kind of blue or brown eyes. I can't remember. And the first time I met him, he had sunglasses on. He says, "Hi, my name is Paul Newman." Oh, Jesus Christ! Okay. But he liked to rehearse because he's from the theater, so he liked to rehearse his scenes like a play before we shot them.
Yeah.
And so it was a scene between Joanne and I was evangelizing her. And I go, Lord, talk to me, my woman. And I had my hands around her like this, and she was shaking, trying to get away. No, Lord, we have to help this woman. And we ended up under the table. As I was, oh Lord, we have this woman now. We have the thing. Most people would say, well, but we have to get it, on top of the table. Paul Newman was on his hands and knees with the DP under the table, saying, "Can we get this shot? Can we get this shot here?" The story to me is, as artists, don't be afraid to get under the table.
Right.
In other words, you have ideas and stuff like this, but if something magic happens at that moment, get under the table, let loose of your idea, and see how this can incorporate into the thing, because something happened, something real happened, and I tip my hat to Anthony. We spoof and stuff like this, but he's a joy to be with. He's a joy to be around. He's a joy to be an actor listening to a director, and Mr. Anthony is not afraid to get under the table, and that's what he's talking about, that there are better ideas than I have, and 5 people and this and that. I think the true artist gets under the table, not afraid to let go.
Very nice.
I think that's beautifully said, Terry. I think that's beautifully said. I also think that each person comes into their own at different times of their life. I mean, you were probably coming into your creative ownership at a very early time, because you were, which I've always thought. And for someone like me, my second movie was Friday, Part 7, and I was sort of like, wait a minute, we should that first, and then they turn it around, and you're so technical about it that it took me many years to kind of find myself and my safety and my center.
Nice. Well, let me get this fan comment here, because Patricia, this leads right into what we got here.
Oh.
Patricia wants to know, were there any fun bloopers while making the movie? Well, Patricia, as Peter alluded to earlier, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Kiser and Kevin, you probably don't know, but I'm spending a lot of time and resources and money in behind the scenes, like between props and gags and bloopers and deleted scenes. We're having what do you call it? Animated screens. So instead of just special features, the special features is a video. Each icon is a moving part from Jason as a weapon. So we're working on this and working on it, and I don't want it to be like just fan filmish. Trust me, I'm not Hollywood, but you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just go a little bit more and do whatever I can. I have my graphics guy, Ryan Sipolinski. The guy is unbelievable. So this is how stupid we are. There's one thing we went and bought at a secondhand store, which was a microscope for the Duke, and we left a sticker on it. And it said like $4.99. I called the guy, dude, it fucking says $4.99 on there. He's like, I can get rid of that whole thing. I'm like, I love you.
Oh, he went in and he took it off.
Yeah, digitally. He could do anything. He can add a hull. He could add this. He could add blood. He could add anything. It's just phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah.
So blooper-wise, there's a ton.
Could he take off? And I'm being selfish. But I directed a little film myself, and this dog comes into the scene. He just came into the scene, and of course I keep going, and so all of a sudden now it's a dog and me in the scene talking to this guy, and it was lovely. And one person said, I wish that dog didn't have a collar on, because you're like out in the woods and it could be like a coyote or something. Now, can he erase that collar on the dog?
Terry, when we're done, I'll give you him. He'll erase the collar. He'll put a dildo on the thing's back if you want it.
Oh my God! So I'm sorry to do that. That was very selfish, but it just came up, and I said, "Oh my, I'll be darned." See, I don't know.
Sometimes the light shifts. The natural light shifts so much that now technically they can just digitalize and make it match and go back. So it's very,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's amazing. So there's a scene where someone's shooting Jason, and the gun obviously isn't real. So most people just add the spark of the gun, This dude is just insane. He goes, hey, check it out. He goes, I got the spark from the gun. I have the exact sound from the caliber bullet with the distance of your room. I have the flash at 3 feet of what the flash would look like on Jason's mask as each round went off. And then the rest of the room lighting as that. He's like, I'm tracking it here. So the light, so he's shooting Jason here. So the light would be at 100%. And at one foot, it would be at 60, whatever percent. I'm like, what? So the guy's just amazing. Yeah, he can do deep fake. Remember Mark Hamill, guys, at the end of Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't do deep fake. They did the other thing. He actually can do deep fake with that.
Nice.
And this is why the Academy Awards pay attention to those very technical editing and special effects, because it is so. I mean, look at what they've created now. Look at Avatar.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
Yeah.
Jason meets Avatar. Just FYI. That's another
Jason versus Avatar coming to a theater near you.
So maybe I'm queuing it up. I don't know if we're going there, but if we're queuing it up,
Yeah,
we
cue it up.
came up with 10 minutes of bloopers and stuff, but I just had a couple for you guys, just real quick, because I don't want to give them all away for the behind the scenes. But I think Red Crank's got it ready to go. I wanted to show you guys some bloopers that we had.
Well, my
World premiere. Even the stars haven't seen this shit yet, man.
Yeah.
No.
We just said them. We just said them.
Here we go, gang. Check this out. Some exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Roseblood. If the button will hit.
Can't run away from your guilt. Huh? Shit, fuck. Okay.
We got two of the world's most major threats to every civic living.
So how long do you want me?
I don't know. 1, 2, 3. My neck hurts. 4. Be here.
That's my favorite part about Lar.
That's it. That's all I got. I don't want to give away too much.
That is Lar. Dry
There you go.
wit. Oh my god. Yeah.
Hey, what was wrong with that second slide? What was the matter with that one? That looked pretty good.
Great.
You have to know, it may have looked good, but my body was still going in another direction. I was
And I'm sitting here, right, as a director, I'm like, he's gonna pull a groin and like hate me or sue me or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I just sort of like run in or like hop or skip. He goes, give it a bit, and I'm like, whoa!
Actually, I think it was your idea. I'm like, just come to the door. You're like, give me a second, and then he just Tom Cruised it. And I'm like, yeah, that works. Yeah.
Let me do the Commodore slide out.
Did he dub those? Did you dub those lines over? Because I've never said shit fuck.
You did.
Wait, oh, I did.
You did.
I'll be darned.
We're in the mode. It doesn't count.
There's
We'll have to
another one,
check
too,
the raw
where
footage for that.
There's another one where you swear where you're real witty with it too. It's funny. I'll say it now. You go, so I don't know my line. You go, I don't even know where the fuck I am right now. And the funny thing is,
that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, the funny thing is that we were so nervous, all you guys, like watching them. I mean, I'm in the room with Terry and Lar and Kevin and everything, and I'm just like, we're so scared. Once they started like missing lines, like being human, and then laughing and swearing, it was like, oh, okay, they're human people. We can like be normal, you know. Yeah.
And add to that,
I had the most lines in the film, so it was really challenging.
it adds to that relaxation among the set too. You finally, okay, Terry fucked up a line. Now we're all good. Everyone else is good.
If you guys don't mind me asking, I wanted to ask these guys because Mr. Kiser and Kevin. So it's funny. So the whole Zigzag, Colonel, and Red Crank, we're doing the whole movie, right? And I wrote the whole script and whatever. So it's day 3. I'm so tired. I'm busy. And then they go, hey, you're up. You're the general. I go, holy shit. I have no idea what I'm supposed to say. So I wrote the script and didn't even know my lines. And I had to go in another room, put the outfit on, and then just look at my lines and then try to like force myself to remember because my brain was like overloaded. It's like your computer was full. And it was so hard for me to get the lines. And if you look at the beginning of the movie, my acting, I hate it. To the end of the movie, I finally get a little better. So my question to Kevin and Mr. Kiser was, you guys have done your own films and your own stuff. Do you find it harder to play your own character when you're doing so much like I did?
I have no idea what you just said. No idea anymore than the man on the moon. What are you talking about, Mr.
I
Anthony?
know what he said. I know.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
So when Michael, my late writing partner and collaborator, Michael Slade, when we first wrote season 1 of After Forever, every word, every scene, every moment was something we both put into it. And then he would write, he was the wordsmith really, but then I would rewrite it and we'd come to a conclusion of it. So it was in my being. That role was in my being.
You're right.
Second and third season, however, Michael started to get sick. And that's when I said, just keep writing. You keep writing. You do what you need to do to keep you vibrant. And, he said, I'm not going to let this cancer win. And so the scenes and the structure is both our story, but he wrote every single word. So second season, it was a little harder to stick it in my brain, I must say. Mm-hmm. And third season, I started learning it now. It's something that that's why I said, if you're the director and the writer, you see it a certain way. And even if you weren't going to remember exactly your lines, you were going to
get there.
Give something to it that was going to stand in that kernel. Or that
Mr. Kiser, you like, because I know you make your own projects also. Do you find it harder to play your character, is my question, when you're the director and a character in the film?
Well, that's the first time I did that, as a director and stuff like that, no. Okay. In other words, it was kind of like what Kevin was saying, a certain character, because I did it so many times and tried it out, to people listening to the script and stuff like this, as they're changing it, that the character all of a sudden was me. Yeah, and I couldn't say anything wrong. Whatever I said was right. And as Kevin knows, you rarely get into that groove of something that you go past being the character, and all of a sudden you are the character. And I found that in I would say 4, 5, 7 different things that I've done and stuff like that. That there's nothing I can say that's wrong. Right. And it's a fascinating thing, incorporating the director's ideas, the writer's ideas, and stuff like this. Not just Terry going off someplace, but being able to guide that thing along without the help of just nothing. It just happens.
Yeah. So Peter, it's all your fault.
Yeah. Hey, this is why I'm me as an actor and they're there as an actor.
One thing that Michael Slade and I wanted to do, or I requested when we wrote After Forever, actually, and this is different than what we did with Roseblood, because this is your baby. I'm flown in. I hit my marks and I say my lines. But I wanted to be able, like Terry said, I wanted to be able to get up in the morning, get out of bed, get to the set, and still be me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very rare opportunity that an actor gets to do, especially when they're involved in wearing 25 hats and running around. But,
Okay.
But I would do Nick again. I would be Nick.
Well, we'll always be Nick in my heart. Yes.
Thanks,
We'll see if there's a sequel then later. Let me get to a couple of fan questions here from some of the people that are watching. Seth from the Horror Syndicate wants to know, Kevin, I know you're here to talk Friday the 13th, but I want to hear about Subspecies 2 and 3, your thoughts on doing those and that franchise. And I actually had a question about that too, because there's a 5th one in production right now that you're attached to, correct?
30 years ago, I did a movie called Subspecies, The New Blood, Subspecies, The Bloodstone, and Subspecies, The Blood Sucker or something, part 2 and 3. And we were in Romania doing this vampire film, as one does in Romania. And Ted Nicolau, myself, Anis Hove, Denise Duff, we have stayed friends for these 30 years. It
wonderful.
Was just nice. So I wasn't in part 4. I had a great time. I mean, that summer, we were there for 12 weeks that summer in Romania. Wow. And this is a year after the fall of Ceausescu, and there's no cell phones and there's no internet. So that was a whole lifetime ago. But they killed my character off in part 4. And I was like, How dare you? And then Denise is going to go do a prequel with Honest, and they were going to do that, I guess, last year, and then something came up. Oh, COVID, and then Denise kept begging and begging and begging Ted, you got to put Kevin in it. You got to put Kevin. There's no part for him. He's a 4-time Emmy Award winner. I said, Ted, ask me to do the show. I'll come. So we are supposed to go to Serbia in the spring. We were supposed to go in October, but because of COVID breaking out there right now, we're going to go to Serbia in the spring and do an incredible prequel. And I am not playing Nick. No. Wait.
Yeah.
What's Mel? I'm not playing Mel. It's Mel Thompson. I'm not playing Mel. I'm going to be playing something else.
What a great fan question that got that answer. Holy cow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
I think it's interesting also that the sequel, at least right now, or prequel, is called Blood Rise, which is kind of close to Rose Blood. That kind of a weird little twist there. I thought that was odd.
Rise, Rose Blood.
True.
You're being typecast or title cast.
All right, let's do Subspecies versus Jason and be done with it.
I
know. Very nice. All right. Patricia also wants to know, I'm a huge Weekend at Bernie's fan.
Wow.
Terry, how did it feel getting carried around in the movie?
Okay. First of all, none of the checks bounced, which is very important. You know, very important thing like that. We had a little. I broke 3 ribs during the production. I had a vertebrae jammed to my neck that caused violent dizziness, and because our dear director, Mr. Ted Kotcheff, who is a maniac, a wonderful maniac, but his whole idea was, did we get the shot?
Right.
Yes, we did, sir. Is the actor okay? And after being hurt this much, and I said, I got to change things around here a little bit. And he asked me, okay, now we're going to do this stunt, Terry, and you're just going to get in the wagon, and your head's just going to kind of bounce, but you can keep your head up, and we'll pull the. I said, whoa. Just excuse me, sir. I just don't understand what you're trying to tell me. Could you show me? If you could show me how to do the thing, and then I could do it. Then I could do it. He says, do what? I said, just show me. And then I probably will understand, because I'm sorry, but I don't understand right now. And the genius of that was that it stopped me getting hurt. All of a sudden he had to do the thing and showing me, because I just didn't understand what he needed. And it got a little not as crazy on the set. But besides that, it was a joy to do that film. We started rehearsing it in New York, again, like a play type of thing. And I thought it was maybe a one-trick pony, but I did. And then we started improvising and stuff and tying shoelaces and doing the thing. And then the Bernie smirk, damn Bernie smirk. Because I saw Daly's one time, the first time I saw Daly's and dead. I said, oh my God, the man's dead. He's not funny dead. And I said, oh, what am I going to do? So I go up to my room and I imbibe in certain things. And I go up there and I try to, what can I do with this thing? But that's where that Bernie came from. And then I saw the dailies. When I saw that, and I said, oh, thank God. Okay, he's funny dead now, and he's not dead. And I think that was a big turning point for the movie. At least for me, it was.
Genius.
Very nice, very nice. It's such a beloved movie still to this day. I've seen a couple other people comment about it that I may be able to get to here in a little bit, but we got a lot of comments coming in. So, man, thank you for that. It was comedy gold.
Yes.
And, Peter and the gang, looks like you got some fans in here. Amos FX says, howdy.
If I can elaborate on that.
Absolutely.
Amos FX, Matt Ogre, and Andrea Harris were the special effects people. We had a couple of them, but they were the main special effects people as far as practical effects, as far as props, as far as hands and arms and guts and eyeballs and all that stuff. Those guys that whole crew was on set the whole time and created like probably 75 to 80% of what you see in the movie. And they drove all the way across country for that. Those guys are awesome.
Okay. Well, that kind of leads into one of the questions I had, because we already talked a little bit about it. Creating a sequel to The New Blood automatically comes with many artistic challenges, but starting with the attention to detail in Jason's costume and makeup. So did they have some part of effect in that? And can you describe what you had to do to make Jason look right for this film, and what other challenges did you face during the production?
So Marcio Charlie, you guys are familiar with him? From no problem, from horror costumes. That guy is just a different level. So he made the Jason costume from Part 7. So he made it so it's the hands and the face are exactly from Part 7. So it's silicone. So the mask and the hands alone is $10,000, and the entire outfit is $14,000. So, and they measured Jason down to his privates, and we sent him all the information like that. And I was like, dude, we can't do a Kane Hodder 7 and mess it up. I'm not saying it's going to be the same as Kane, you know what I'm saying? But as a fan film, we got to like really get this, because it really matters, not just a dude with a sack on. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you see in trailer 2 when he stands up out of the water, for a fan film, man, we really tried to nail that look as much as we possibly could. And Jason's big on that, and I'm huge on that. So Marcio Charlie from Horror Costumes, that's how we started with that. But as far as
look at the gift that they gave me. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's Amos Brothers gave them that. Go to your left more. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
Look
at that
severed finger.
Yep.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And look at the fingernail on the thing.
That's what I mean. I thought, damn, Terry, what you do, man? But that's a fake finger.
Yeah, that was the same people as a gift, and here I have this fake finger, that I'm playing with all the time.
Nice. These guys, they make fingers like that attached. They make USB. Those fingers are USBs, so you can put them in drives, for thumb drives, and it's a thumb drive. There's a picture of Terry with it hanging out of your mouth, Mr. Kiser.
Oh my God!
I got a picture of it. Yeah.
So and she said, and one of the things she told me. Now, Terry, if the fingernail, falls off of the thing, just go to the the hardware store, or the thing, and just get a nail thing that the women do, and you can put that thing back on. I said, okay, I'll just get right into that thing right away.
They were great on set. They made I can't give it away, but there's a lot of scenes in there. We're all practical effects, obviously, and 90% of what you see is probably them. Yeah, there's 2 kills in there that are really, really, really good practical that you guys will probably like, that they did 100% of. So
the 2 most beautiful words in any horror film: practical effects. I mean,
oh boy. Peter,
well,
can Peter tell us, Mr. Anthony, can you tell us how you got this music person that you were so anxious to get, or is that publication now, or can't talk about it, or what?
No, it's out.
It's out. It's fucking huge.
Fuck yeah. So I'm like so far in debt. So I'm like 48 grand in debt, right? So I'll do on top of what we raised, right? So I'm like, I'll do another fundraiser and I'll try to get something back so I could fucking buy bread, right? So then we get to a certain amount. I go, fuck that. I'll stay broke. Let's take this money and let's get Harry Manfrandini. So I called Harry up and I go, hey, this is what we're trying to do, because we spoke to him on Vengeance. So he did the Vengeance music.
Yeah.
So I was like, Harry, this is what we're trying to do. And we went back and forth. And man, he is incredibly talented. He's sitting there and he goes, hey, Peter, the Duke, he goes, I take it that he's Indian, American Indian. I go, he is. I go, Creighton Duke Took. I go, because in my opinion, I don't know about you guys, in 9, he kind of looked like Indian, right? Like American Indian a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe his bloodline somewhere. He goes, that's the feeling I get. And he must have, I don't see him, but he must have turned and had a keyboard right next to him. And he goes with one hand.
Oh my!
And he goes, "That's Indian music. Every time you see Duke, you're gonna hear this music." I was like,
"Oh,
yes,
oh,
yes."
That's so cool.
So, and he's like, "I got the whole idea. This is what we're gonna do. Boom, 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 like this." And I don't care, man. This is a once in a lifetime thing. I don't care about the money. Let's just try to make it as good. I mean, Carrie's on the film, and Lars, Kevin, let's try to go all out and make this one thing, and then I can go retire.
Very nice.
He generated an entire soundtrack. There's no like tributes to the original Part 7 soundtrack at all. He's that.
I don't know yet. So we're on the second, third cut. After one more cut, it goes to him for like 4 weeks, and then it goes to Foley Foley's like sound effects, like touching your shirt, like little mic hits, like little things like that. And then while that's happening, color correction, color grading, and then finally the movie. So yeah, I don't even know what the score is going to be yet, but he knows obviously it's 7 and we're trying to go that route. So I'm going to be like blown away with it. And he had me make this man, I don't even know the words. It's called the something sheet, and we had to put tempo music into the movie. We had to do something with a sheet where I'm trying to explain to him what we're trying to achieve, and so on and so forth. So I mean, I can't see him messing it up, you know.
Gentlemen, excuse me.
Yeah.
Listen, my mom and dad are moving into a new apartment in St. Louis, Missouri, from their house. You see me being a little distracted here. I've got to get a call to them. I love you all. Peter, congratulations again. Terry,
thank you.
And I know you have an Ed Asner story in you somewhere. I know you do, and I want to get that when I see you in November. And Zigzag, Colonel, and Red Crank, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. And
thank you, man.
Thanks for coming.
Have a great night.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh no.
All right.
Leadership.
There you go.
Oh, we got a little more room in here now.
It's
What a talented man he is, Kevin, and to put that show together, and all of a sudden he's winning awards. How delightful is that to see one of our fellow artists hit it like that? That's very cool. Very cool.
Now, is he getting Emmys before After Forever? Is that the series he's been getting them for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you go on YouTube
I
and you write
haven't checked that
after
out,
Emmy, go on YouTube, right after Emmy award ceremony, you see helped write the movie with him passed away from cancer, but you see them come up on the stage and win all the awards and everything like that. The crazy thing is the premiere that we're having for Rosebud is in Guilford, Connecticut on this road. And that gentleman, unfortunately, was in a cancer center right across the street where he was. So Kevin knew exactly where that was.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
We got Eduardo Guerrero in here. He says he's very happy to be a backer on this project. Thank you, Eduardo. And
hey, Red Crank, there was one from Ken Slate or Billy Slate. I apologize, but I think we cut it off a couple of times. I didn't want to miss that one.
Ken and Billy. Yeah, he just said I was the lucky man who got the chauffeur Kevin to the set.
Nice. How nice.
We just lost Kevin, so I was going to try to get a story from Kevin about the chauffeur there, but you're safe now.
Riley Lorden chauffeured them, and Billy and Ken Slate. So Billy is actually Ken Slate's wife, and Ken Slate's wife won the Be on Set with Lar for a day. So they ate lunch together, and they were on the scene together and all that. And Ken Slate is the guy when I did Vengeance. I was talking to Jason Brooks. I'm like, let me sell my name. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, who cares about me? I just sell my name. And we sold the name, and Ken Slate won that. So he's back there. My pop figure is I'm Ken Slate in Vengeance because we sold it. And it's so lucky, too. Nice. Instead of like, Eduardo Dominguez or something, it was an easy name like Ken Slate. And ever since then, he's been such a huge fan. And his wife actually won the raffle to be with Lar that day.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
That's great. Cool. That's great.
Dave wants to know, what is the running time on this? That is a good question.
On the last cut, with no credits, it was 1:37. But so the last cut, they keep thinking they're going to get less notes from me, right? So we do this thing on Vimeo where you send the Vimeo cut, and then I can make live notes, and everybody sees it, right? Including the effects guy, everybody. So so they're like, okay, so it was like 40 cuts, then 50 cuts, but I'm really holding back because I'm a perfectionist. So the next cut came. I have 75 cuts in the first 50 minutes. So probably 200 different edits I have in that movie going forward. So from an hour 34, it'll probably be an hour 20 of film. But I mean, if you count credits forward and back, and there's a post-credit screen, it's probably 130, 140. Okay. We got Samantha on film. Oh, you can't hear me. He's got a mountain dog that's bigger than me. Do we have Samantha on film? Do we have Samantha on film, Mr. Kiser?
I don't think so. She just walked out the door. That's why I had to get up. Hey, Dad. Old Dad, come here. Open the door. Okay.
How much does
Somebody's got to go.
What?
How how big is Samantha? How much does she weigh again?
She weighs like 90 pounds.
Wow.
Bernese Mountain Dog. They're gorgeous guys, girls, and she's been a companion for she's like 4.5, 5 years old now, and I got her like when she was a puppy, 8 weeks old, and she's been good companion. Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Well,
You got
then
the
also,
little barrel of whiskey under her. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, of course. Yes.
yeah, you got that. Clifton says, Peter, that eyeball is coming home with me that you showed off earlier. Another addition for his future Roseblood shadow box.
Oh,
That's great.
Clifton Taylor, man. This guy's awesome. Every time I post something, he ends up getting this thing is a professional Hollywood prop with the tendons and the blood and everything. You can see we put blood on it for the movie.
Nice.
So try to guess who's you got to try to guess whose eye that is because it gets ripped out of their head live.
Hey, Terry, lean,
effects, guys.
Terry, lean close into the camera. Let me see your eyes there real quick.
Yeah, okay, good.
It's not him. It's not him, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Terry, let me ask you this. How many days were you working on set on this film?
2.
Just 2? And how about Kevin and Lar, Peter? How many days did they work on? 2, but 2 also? Okay.
It's really 1, but they came in on set, worked 1, left on the next day in case we needed them. It's really just 1 though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and we had a closed set. We had a closed set. So the other thing too, Red Crank, was nobody knew we had a closed set that Kevin was part of the film. I'm amazed that we kept the secret this far. You know what I'm saying? Because there's another humongous secret that you guys don't even know, that they don't even know. Terry doesn't know. Lar, nobody knows. So we had to keep the closed set that time when the stars were there, especially with Kevin, because we didn't want nobody to know. So nobody saw them. Nobody, like, kind of shuffled them in. We put them in clothes and got them in and did our own little deal. I'm amazed we got it done without no one saying
nice.
Man, I've been watching him hustle. Like I said, this guy's got he's a hustle master. So any surprises he pulls off, I'm not surprised at all.
Not either. I'm not either. No.
Thank you, sir.
Happens every
but the other
day
thing
with
is
him.
too. The other thing too is you guys don't even know. I probably fired 5 people with 3 days to go, and our Tina was a recast 2 weeks before.
Wow.
So there was a girl in Europe. Long story short, I don't want to badmouth, but she's like, "Well, I don't have a visa. I can't come." I'm like,
"What?
What do you mean? Like, you're coming to America? This is like the whole deal." So we had to recast and get Jessica Hotman, and then there was 5 people that they were like half-assed. Some people didn't want to take COVID tests. Some people just didn't seem into it. Some people wanted more money, and I was like, "No, gone." So like within the last 2 weeks, there was like 6 or 7 changes, and those people had the script. So I was like, "Oh my God, they're going to release the whole Kevin thing." You know what I'm saying? So, and they didn't. So kudos to them.
Nice.
Hey.
Well, Terry, was it a strange feeling being back in the Friday world again?
It sure was. It's interesting that I just came back from Seattle doing, and people are talking about Roseblood. It's fascinating. They come to me on Friday the 13th. And I said, "Are you in Roseblood? I mean, is that?" And they want to know about it. So the word's out there, Mr. Anthony, that people know this thing, and everybody. They get very excited. They get very excited about the thing.
You ran into our Jason. You ran into our Jason Brooks. You sent me a video.
Thank God he came.
Yeah. Hey, how big is that?
He asked me. He said, "Now, Terry, can you do this? Can you?" And he gives me 5 pages of dialogue. And I said, "What the hell am I supposed to do? Memorize this goddamn thing? What does he want?" And I'm at the Comic-Con, and I said, "Mr. Anthony, it's not there yet. Not there yet." And then Jason comes up to me, and I said, I don't know what the hell he wants. I'm supposed to memorize this thing? And he says, "I'll do it with you." And I said, "You will?" And he did it right there. And he goes, "Hi," and he says all the lines, and I said, "Oh yes," and I started kind of smiling. "Oh yes," and I did it get it, Mr. Anthony?
So long story short, guys, you saw the video with Lar and Kevin talking about the Indiegogo, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I wanted Terry to do one, so I asked him to do one eventually. So then Jason Brooks lives in Seattle, and he was at the con, and I didn't even know. And Jason's like, "Hey, check your email." And I'm like, what? And it was Jason Brooks, with Terry going over all the major points I wanted to go over with the Indiegogo. So it was great. A few things. One, Terry, how big is Jason Brooks? That big ass bastard, right?
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Me and CJ Graham make fun of him all the time because I'm a fat mess now, but I used to be a former bodybuilder and I used to have big ass arms. And I make fun of his arms. So he calls me Shorty and I call him Baby Arms.
Does he like to wear tight shirts by chance? Does he like to wear those tight like chest hugging shirts?
No,
I had a friend like that. I had a friend like that, and I would always call him Baby Gap because that's where he had to shop.
Yeah, no, Jason Brooks is one of those weird guys. Like you see him on film, and yeah, he's tall and stuff. But when you get next to him, he's not like bodybuilder big. So he's not like these bubbly muscles flying out everywhere. But he is huge. Like his hands are big, his feet are big, his arms are big. He's a big dude. When you get close to him, you're like, holy shit, this guy's humongous.
And one of the nice guys, one of the nicest guys you're going to meet.
Oh,
I mean, what a gentleman!
That's what I'm talking about. So a couple years ago when I started Vengeance, I was like, just the total nutball, and I was like mean, and I hated everybody, and yada yada yada. And Jason Brooks is like the biggest class act you will. I'm not saying this because he's part of my film. He's the biggest class act you will ever meet in the history of your life. He's the most humble, kind, person that you'll ever meet. Oh, we lost him. And he like changed me.
Damn it.
Over the last 3 or 4 years. Him and Sean have calmed me down and just showed me the way to be like a leader and to be calm and deal with fans and deal with all the BS that's going on. And he's Jason Brooks. I'm not talented. Jason Brooks is talented. He can make a prop. He can do an arm. He did it in the movie. I'm like, I need this arm. He did it in an hour. He did an entire body cast of R.C. DeMoss for Vengeance 2. He did an entire body cast for us for Roseblood. He can do, and he can write, direct, be Jason, make a prop, do makeup. Jason Brooks is truly talented. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
We're all just clinging on to things. So we lost Terry.
Yeah, we saw him getting some love at the con. He showed up at the con and just at a booth and hey, it's Jason from Boom, and man, people were coming to see him. He's making a niche in these fan films doing Jason. So
yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh, what con was he at with you guys?
Was that Horror Hound, Colonel? We saw him in Cincinnati, or was that Indianapolis?
I want to say it was Indy, but I'm not. 100%.
I think it was Indy.
It was Indy. It was one of the
big,
right?
In
Indianapolis Horror Hound. Yeah, it's a big one.
He's pretty big, and he's the nicest guy.
He was sitting, and it was geez, man, look at that guy.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Terry, one thing I wanted to get into with you, you've had a long time relationship with the Actors Studio. And for those that might be interested in the craft of acting, what are some of the benefits of becoming a member of the Actors Studio?
I tell all people, in other words, if you have a craft, you must perfect it. You must grow with it. And a lot of people, I can act, and we know they can't act. And and when I went to New York. I was an industrial engineer. I graduated as an industrial engineer, civil and business at Kansas University, and I practiced 6 months at Cornhusker Paving Company. Building roads and RC reinforced concrete pipe. And 6 months, I said, "This is bullshit. I got to follow my dream." I said, "I want to at least try it." So I gave up the job, gave up my dog, gave up my lady friend, got on a bus with $1,500 in my pocket, and went to New York City to at least give it a try. And a wise old man told me, he said, "Terry, when you make a decision like that, it's not for your life. Give it a time period, because then it's not so overwhelming. Oh my God, I'm making a decision for the rest of my life. But do it for a couple of years, whatever." And so I said, "Okay, 3 years, I'm going to try this, and then maybe I'll be a writer, or a director, or make commercials." I didn't know. And so I knew I had to. The first thing I did in New York was sign up for the Actors Studio, because I wanted to study with the best, the guru of acting teachers, Mr. Lee Strasberg. And so I started working at the studio all the time, in the director's unit and the playwrights unit. And so Lee Strasberg knew me very well before I even auditioned to become a member of the studio. And I wanted to be the first one to get into the Actors Studio with comedy. Everybody, okay, Tennessee Williams. And I said, and there was a wonderful play called Love, L-U-V, with Alan Arkin, Eli Wallach, and Ed Jackson, directed by Mike Nichols. And it was the funniest thing I ever saw at the Booth Theater. And so I did this thing. I said, I'm auditioning. And I had Lee laughing. And I had the people laughing on that thing. And it was done, and he wouldn't let me in. Wouldn't let me in with a comedy. And I said, Jesus Christ, Lee, God damn it. He says, come back with something serious. I said, all right. So I come back with something, whatever, who the hell knows what, but I got in. But to answer your question, a lot of people think that the studio is very serious and stuff like this. Acting is acting. And whether it's comedy or serious, it all comes from a core of being real. Learning how to act is not to act. And as simple as that, as we say, simple as that. But the studio gave me an incredible base and a confidence in my instrument. Guitarist plays, and we are our own instrument. And so he gave me this great knowledge and being able to see other people work. And I remember how delicate his hands were. He'd always gesture, like and he was always using his hands with things like this, very delicate hands. But you understood where that energy was going as he talked to you, and so it was a great one of the best things in my life was that experience at the Actors Studio because it gave me a core, gave Terry Kiser a core of what he really wanted to do. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Red Crank, if I may, Terry Kiser was on this show. Terry, what was the name of the show when you guys worked with the animals?
Oh, the Circus of the Stars.
Oh wow,
Circus of the Stars. All right, you guys, this is unbelievable.
I got a call.
I remember this.
Yeah. Well, I got a call.
I'm 45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 45.
I remember that show.
Yeah. So anyways, Terry was telling me the show, and I remember talking to Lar about it, a couple people about it, but Terry got with this lion or tiger, I think it was a lion, whatever. And if you guys would allow, Terry, could you please, there's a picture of him. What'd you weigh back then, 170?
Sure.
Right? Yeah, 170. The lion's like 350. And there's a picture of the lion on top of him with fucking hands that are humongous on top of his shoulders. And I hit him up and I'm like, Terry, what happened with that show? Like, whatever with the stars. I thought it was just a normal show. I didn't think anything crazy happened. And then he told me this story, which, if you guys allow, is absolutely amazing. So, can you tell the story about the lion?
Yeah. I got this call, and they said, would you like to do Circus of the Stars? And I said, what? And they said, it's a tiger act. I said, it's what? A tiger act. There's six Bengal tigers and 2 lions in the act. Eight animals. I said, all at once? Yeah, they're in the, yeah. So they put me, they were set up in the back of Universal Studios, and I went there, and he went through the tiger act Saturday morning, I remember. And he went through this thing and bring that tiger out. And by the way, Shaman weighs 750 pounds, not 450 pounds. The big guy. And I watched this thing, and of course, all the producers and the people were watching me after this was over. To I said, well, what do you want me to do? And they said, well, you just saw it. And I literally stopped it was like 30 seconds. And I said, I need 4 weeks rehearsal, 4 times a week, every day. And they said, you got it. And so I did this tiger act, and I was more proud of this because it was not, let's cut and do this thing again. So by the time we got to a performance, and they had the studio set up like a circus and a big crowd, everything else, and I got in there and was doing the act, and everything was fine. And this lion, the male lion was named Tiki, and I was supposed to get him up. I got him up on this big ball, and then what I was supposed to do, I was supposed to, hey, Tiki, and I was supposed to move in. He was supposed to move me, so I would get the balance where he couldn't move any closer to me. And then I went, hey, give me a kiss, and I go in like that. Well, something distracted Tiki off stage, and I whacked him on top of the nose, and he turned around to me. And I said, come on, give me a kiss. And I forgot to get him out. And I went in, and he came to me, and on film, you can see it. He went like this, and my head was inside his mouth. The audience went, oh, like this. And you see it on film, and you see that my head's in his fucking mouth. And I pull back, and I say, oh, well, I think that's close enough. Okay, we go, and you go on, and we went on, and it was just about the end of the act. And okay, we put all the tigers and the lions back and everything else, and they open up the cage, and the producer comes in, and the thing, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, a drop of blood starts coming down the side of my face, and in other words, this lion nicked me, and because of the excitement and your adrenaline going, nothing happened. I was like this, but as soon as I stopped and went down like this, a trickle of blood just came, just tinkling down like this. And I said, okay, I'm glad we got that on. Typical actor, do we have that on film?
Right.
And I would like to say to your audience out there, because Mr. Anthony and I talked about this, I can't find a copy of this.
Hey, if you guys can find this, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Circus of the Stars, and when it was done, I don't know what year it was, but CBS. And if anybody has a copy of that or knows how to get a copy, boy, I would be indebted, and definitely autograph time coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So, long story short, I looked for it, and it's not. I can't find it, and Lar looked for it, and we can't find it anywhere online. And unfortunately, Terry, I think, lost the footage from a move or something. So we got to find. But there's a picture of the lion on top of him, and his fucking mouth like this big on him. So you got to imagine that tooth, that big ass tooth, hit just his head. So another inch, and it's got him in game over.
Yeah, I found this, but it covers us all up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was able to find that, but wow.
Yeah, that's one of the pictures of one of the tigers that. He went up on my shoulders and that thing, and the idea was that I was supposed to feed him off of a little stick that I put meat on the end of, and he got up on my shoulders like that, and then I, but you know what, guys, I'm more proud of that than anything I've done, and I'll tell you why, because it was real, and I told him when we shot the thing, I said, there's no retakes. So, well, let's do this. No, you get as many, and they had something like 11 cameras going because they knew that I was not going to. There was no retakes in this thing. It was going to what happened happens, and I was so proud of it because it was something that was real, and it turned out to be their best act in 10 years of Circus of the Stars, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I will definitely try to look for that, but I mean, just a quick search, I found that photo and was able to put it up there, but. I don't know if I'd be able to find the actual video because.
Well, if any of your guests, your audience out there listens, has that or can find it or something like that, I would be really indebted because it's something I would like to have.
My brother's really good at finding shit like that. I'll put him on it and see what he can come up with.
All right.
It has to be on the internet somewhere. I mean, everything's on the internet.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, have you still been doing any? Like coaching, acting coaching, because I knew you used to do classes and things like that for a little while.
I did when I was on a set in Dallas. I met a lady friend. She came up here, spent a week with me in my ranch up here in Colorado. We fell in love, and I can't go to. I don't want to go to Dallas, and she doesn't want to live up here, and so we decided, okay, well, let's try Austin, Texas. So we both kind of moved to Austin, Texas. I left my ranch and. Moved up there, and I was commuting to Nashville doing a series, so I was busy there. But I said, "What the hell am I going to do in Austin?"
Man,
and my lady said, "Well, why don't you start a studio?" And I said, "Wow, to be able to pass on some of the craft that Strasberg taught me, this would be a nice thing to give back to my profession." And so I had a seminar, and I thought like 40, 50 people would show up or something, but there were like 350 people showed up for this thing, and yeah, and I sold out for 2 years, the studio, and I also got kids classes too. I wanted to teach kids, little kids, because you know how vibrant they are, and people like to crush their creativity, but to be able to find ways to make that grow in those young people was astounding. But it was very successful. Thank you for asking about that.
Good.
And it was. But what I am doing up here that I would like to share with everybody is I'm doing a film. I'm doing a film festival. I started a film festival called the Euray International Film Festival. And we're like 45 minutes out of Telluride. And Euray, Colorado is called the Switzerland of America because the town sits in these mountains, at 8,000 feet. And we have what they call the Wright Opera House up there. It's a facility that was built in 1890. And I've done a lot of Broadway and stuff like that. And I walked in that theater and it knocked me out because of the 1890s, the old beams and things like this.
Nice.
And so I said, Jesus, why not? And so I got on the board of directors, and the first thing I said, I want to start a film festival. And they, whoa. And so this is the second year we just finished, and it was a big success. We had one of our main guests, Lou Hart, the writer of Hook and Contact and Coppola's Dracula. Flew him up here, and I have a pretty a backyard looking out in the mountains. And so I had for Saturday night, part of the film festival, we had everybody come over to my place, and we set up a screen outside overlooking the mountains and the sunsets and stuff. We had like 70 people, and we served like apple pie and ice cream and coffee and popcorn and wine. And we had Hart talk about the movie, how wonderful Robin Williams was, what a prick Dustin Hoffman was, and he told us about the movie, and then we showed the movie, with the stars outside. Nice. Yeah, it was just wonderful.
That's cool.
But it's going to be like June 23rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, something like that next year. And we had over 450 entries to this thing, so it's really an international. Like one film's from Syria, guys. Boy, we don't know how lucky we are in this business. But this one film, he had to smuggle out in a cake.
To get it over. Right?
He had to take because it was about a rock band with a woman singer. And in Syria, you can't have rock bands and you can't have women singing. And so this whole dynamics of this thing of how he got it out and then filmed some of it while he was in L.A. and got his cameraman in Syria and from both distances doing this thing. But that's just one of the examples of such wonderful films that we have. So this has been, fun to me to see if I can kind of pass on something. When I decide to go someplace else for a while. Yeah.
we seem to be having a little bit of trouble with Peter on his internet connection. So, Peter, I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe reboot and try to come back. Give us a couple minutes.
That's what I did. I rebooted and came back. That's what you have to do. Yeah.
We'll just keep some of the questions coming for you there, Terry. S. Michael wants to know, what was it like working with Lar again after all these years?
Lar is such a sweetheart, and we've kept in touch throughout the years. And she's such a fan of mine, which I just love, and I'm a fan of hers, and we love that. And she loves showbiz, and I like being up in the country riding a horse. And so it's been fun throughout the years. And when she called me and she told me about Roseblood, I said, well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun? And so she's a dear person and an easy actress to work with, to be around. I can't say enough about this woman.
Gosh.
Nice. I had the opportunity to meet her a couple years ago at a convention, and she is just one of those sweethearts.
Yeah. How nice is that?
Yeah.
It's just
Ziggy,
cool.
You got a question?
Yeah, it's cool to see that dynamic continue between you two because I and it's a credit to your.
And then
talent.
guys,
I fucking hated Dr. Crew. Hated it. And just, you were one of those guys in the series that I was like, I couldn't wait for you to get yours.
I know. It was interesting how we got that part because they sent me the script, and I said, part 7? What the hell? they said, Terry, please read the script. Just read it, will you? And so I read it, and what just gave me a giggle was that, Jason is the bad guy in Friday the 13th. We know that. And all of a sudden, here was another bad guy. And I said, whoa, now this is interesting. This is very interesting to do this. And so that's what attracted to me to the part, is how Dr. Bad News Cruz. And,
somebody actually mentioned that just a second ago. There it is.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Man Forever. It says Bad News Cruz.
There he is. There he is. And it was it was a joy to be bad. It was a little tough shooting because we shot at nights from 6 at night till 6 in the morning in a swamp. And, we had an alligator wrangler and a snake wrangler to keep any, critters away from the dressing rooms that were set up in the swamp at, at 1 o'clock in the morning. So you had no social life. You couldn't go out and have a drink, say have dinner or something like that. So it was pretty tough that way. And when I went home, I didn't realize what we had. And I didn't realize how bad, how bad this guy was, because I was just enjoying being this character. And until, everybody said, boy, you're really mean. And I had to look at it again. And then I looked at it and I said, my gosh, he is mean. This is good. This is good. So that's how that part came about. Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
fun?
man.
I think that's what they called tough love back in the 80s, wasn't it?
Very tough
like
love.
That?
Very
tough love.
Yeah.
You were trying to help her, man.
Such a coward. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Do you guys know if they threw? I heard, the way that this last film, Tammy and the T-Rex. Have you guys heard of this thing?
Yes,
I've heard of it, but yeah,
it's becoming big. I can't believe it. We did it years ago.
It must be you added it to your collection.
There you go. But I because they redid Blood in this thing and they brought it out. It was a big hit. I don't know if they still have the outtakes. They had to downgrade part 7 because it was too bloody.
Yes.
And I don't know if they still have that footage or if that's gone.
Yeah, we've heard, because we're all over this. We've looked and tried to see, and other people have looked for it, and the research has come out, and it turns out like Paramount cleaned out the warehouse and all that stuff, man. So it does not exist as far as we know anymore. Yeah, it's horrible. It's bullshit.
Oh my. Why? Wow.
What a waste. They could have released that, and that could have been a $50 DVD alone with the uncut.
Oh, big time. Big time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What a shame. All right.
That leads me to Peter. Are you back yet? I see you there, but you're still. So I don't hear you.
I know.
I've never seen him that still in my life.
Right?
Oh, there. See what I mean?
Oh,
he just jumped.
Now he's doing the master bedroom thing over there. Look at that.
Exactly. Okay, give us the float. The profile with your bald head. Go ahead. Do it.
Just look down. Look down like that.
Oh,
damn it.
Oh, man.
I ran him off. Okay, let me get into this then. Terry, will this honor John Carl Buechler's beginning of part 7, this continuation? Does it fall within the same kind of spirit, if you will?
I have no idea.
The original director of part 7?
Oh, he was a very talented man. Yeah. The same spirit, of course. With Mr. Anthony at the helm, he's so fun, as you all know.
Oh,
he gets so enthusiastic about stuff. And but the enthusiasm is very like Peel orientated. In other words, with taste. And so I just think this is going to be a pretty good film. I'm anxious to see it. What can I think?
And I'll say it, man. I mean, I was telling these guys earlier, we were recording some bits a couple days ago, and we talked about stars like you coming back to the franchise. Fan film, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're reprising a role we all know and love, and I can't get enough. I hope anybody that's touched these films has a chance to come back and do what you've done here. I mean, and I don't, I don't know what capacity. That's what's pissing me off. I don't really know what you're going to be in this yet. So, but just the fact that you come back, I know it's going to be something incredible. With Lar and Kevin, we can't wait. It can't come soon enough.
This is going to be fun. Are you guys going to be up there when we do it? When we open the thing?
I don't know if we'll be able to make it for the premiere in October, but we'll definitely be around as much as we can, and we'll watch it and promote it on YouTube whenever it drops there. Absolutely.
You guys are so wonderful. I mean,
thank you.
Your enthusiasm about stuff is it rubs off. So good for you. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. So, that was the debate we were having, talking about bringing characters back. Was I kept listing off dead people in franchises, and Ziggy's like, "Yes, I want to see them back. Yes, of course. Why not?
Bring it."
You want to know something? We want to do a Bernie 3. In other words,
somebody mentioned that earlier in the comments.
I wanted to do a Bernie 3, and I wrote a script with two wonderful writers. And it was called Bernie Does Extreme Sports. And I'm telling you, it wasn't shticky. I mean, it was a good, solid film. I mean, it was funnier than hell. The stuff that he gets in, and he cryogenics brought back. I mean, it was totally crazy, but it was good. And we asked Warner Brothers, well, come, I want to do this, and here's a script, and no, you can't do it. And I said, we're not asking for any money. We'll give you half the profits and let us do it. What the hell's wrong with that? If you ask IBM that, they would say, we don't. It doesn't cost us anything, and we're getting half the money. Do it.
Right.
But because of their library and stuff like this, couldn't do it, and I was very disappointed about it, because Bernie could be any age. Who the hell cares about that? And it was funny. Bernie Does Extreme Sports, and they had a contest because of the first cryogenic man brought back to life, and this other guy, Stiffenreisen was his name, from Sweden. Mr. Stiffenreisen was his name, and he was the other guy that was cryogenetically brought back to life. And so it was going to be a contest of who gets the $1 billion from the company that's going to do the training, whatever. And so we start doing extreme sports against each other. And of course, Bernie's dead, but there's a live Bernie that's called Benny that comes from a very small little island called Vista del Baño, view from the toilet. It got crazy, and we couldn't do it. So what the hell is that all about? Isn't that fun?
Those studios, and it's stupid. You could do that. You could present them. Here's a check. It's gonna all you got to do is sign this, and it's we're not gonna tarnish anything. I mean, the fucking dead guy that's getting.
Why not?
Yes, why not?
Yeah.
I think a whole other generation could be introduced to that under that premise. Man, that's great.
Absolutely.
I mean, they made a third Bill and Ted movie. Nothing against it, but it's not like time people forgot about it. People still love the Weekend at Bernie's movies. I mean, I loved them as a kid. I couldn't get enough of Weekend at Bernie's, both of them.
Oh, there's a lot of love in the comments section from different people just talking about Weekend at Bernie's like constantly. Like, look back through that.
Yeah, do you know what I get such a kick out of? If these Comic Cons or that the people come up and they said, my dad turned me on to this movie. Or a mother comes up and he says, I turned my daughter onto this movie. And they said, you gave us an hour and a half that we were on the same plane. Age difference didn't matter. All of a sudden I was on the same plane with my daughter. And we're laughing. You made us laugh, Terry, and I want to thank you. And that made me feel so good, because it's like, generation is passing this craziness on to theirs, and they're turning people on to the thing, and that makes me feel good as an artist to be able to pass it on to the next generation, as they say.
Right.
Yeah. Very nice.
Let me ask you one more question, if you don't mind, then I'll let you go, and then we'll wrap this show up. It looks like we've lost Peter for the night. So sorry, Peter.
It's like winter time out there in Colorado. I've been watching it get darker. The sky get darker and darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But You mentioned it earlier. You were recently announced to be joining the cast of the events surrounding A Peeping Tom from director Hannah Fireman. What can you tell us about this film and your role in it?
It's a very intelligent script. Very intelligent script as far as characters, stuff like this. And my part is a professor that got obsessed with the occult, and our hero Damien, who is our hero, comes to me and wants to know what the cult and these people are they still here and stuff like this, and it's a wonderful thing. And I looked at the first page and I got dialogue like this. I said, "Oh my God Almighty!" And so I said, "Well, no, I don't think I can do the thing." Well, they came back and they, I guess, kind of tripled the money, and I said, "Okay, I'll do it. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But to what the movie is about, I think it's an intelligent, scary piece. And
Nice.
if this goes the way, it sounds like it's going, and how they're casting this thing and putting this together, and I think they got some bucks behind them. None of us know what the hell's going on with that film, the editing and the thing or whatever. But all I can say is that it's an intelligent script. It's not a sticky script, but it's character development. And I think, after I got to the end of the thing, I was scared. I said, "Oh, okay, nice. Okay, yeah, very nice. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to that. We bumped into Felissa Rose a few weeks ago, and were able to ask her a little bit about it, and she's really excited about it. So
good.
Stoked you're there too, man.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Colonel, do you have anything else before we let the gentleman go for the evening?
No, just thank you for coming on to the show, and really appreciate all your work. Again, sorry for hating Dr. Cruz. Talking to you now. I might hate the character a little bit less, but at the same time, you really shouldn't use a woman as a shield to get away from Jason. Come on.
Guys, it's been a pleasure being with all of you.
Yeah.
Your intelligent comments, your show it just seems so wonderful, and no wonder you got a big following. They should,
We're going to cross paths. Yeah, we'll cross paths at one of these cons pretty soon here. I'm sure of it. And just thank you for just being willing to do horror. You know what I mean? Because some people are like, I'm above that now. No. But here you are, man, thank you. And I think my first time, I remember in my conscious recognizing you, Three's Company, correct?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes.
Two different roles.
Two different roles.
And it happens that they were each role at a different year. They were back-to-back years. And that show each year turned out to be their best show of the 25 that they did that year. So I got them twice in 2 years on the thing like that.
Nice.
So that was fun. And John Ritter left us too quick. And why that show? Yeah, that show was a class act because it always starts at the top. And Mr. Ritter was a class act, and that permeated down to the acting, to the writing, the production values of the show. And
yeah. Rest in peace.
Yes, definitely rest in peace for John Ritter. Because
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'll say that I'm not a professional actor by any means, but I will say I drew a lot of my acting influence from John Ritter that show.
Nice.
And I tell other actors that, and they're like, "Really? That's the one you want to go for?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's the silly, but it works." And his physical comedy was untouchable.
And it was always based on situation instead of shtick. In other words, and that's what lasts, situational comedy. If it comes out of real moments and it's not shtick stuff, that always excites me. But that lives on. That lives on.
I was watching some just a week or we watched some when you were in town for the convention.
Yep. His episode didn't come on though, so you know what I mean. We didn't get
Not that. Well, sir, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you had a good time tonight, and we cannot wait to see Roseblood coming out soon. And best of luck to you. And let us know if there's anything else we need to talk about at some point down the road.
Thank you. Thanks to all of your audience for being so gracious with their questions and wanting to know things. I tip my hat to all of you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Woo!
I mean,
that was fun, and we didn't get to say it. Peter, hopefully you're still watching. Thank you for coming on as well.
Peter.
Yes,
you will not be left out. So.
Yeah, Peter arranged the whole thing, got us everything lined up, and all the best. Get well soon, Lar, and hopefully we can catch up with you maybe a little closer to premiere. We've got questions for you, Peter, man, dude. Sorry you're having internet connections, but damn, thanks a lot, brother. And Kevin,
you know the story.
You. Yeah. Oh, hey, how did I look tonight, though, folks?
You were good tonight.
Woo!
Oh man,
finally,
that was that, dude. That was the happiest show I've done in a while. I don't know if you get. I just had that goofy smile on my face the entire night. I felt like a little girl in a pink dress pushing a hot dog through a donut the entire night. Wait,
I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe not that good.
Oh my god! Wow. I mean, that was cool. I dug that.
What's your takeaway from this, Ziggy? Did we learn anything tonight? Yeah, did we learn anything tonight?
Oh, you mean as far as what they're doing?
Like Roseblood or what's coming?
On Roseblood. I think Peter did say one thing that I caught, but I'm going to wait and talk to you guys about it first. I want to see if you caught it too. I don't want to embarrass myself if I'm wrong. So, but I think I got something, guys. We'll let you know. You might not want
to embarrass ourselves every week. Every Monday we embarrass ourselves.
Yeah,
that's
this is like the bad kind though, where you not intentionally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wow, that was cool though, man. I mean, fucking Bernie was on the fucking airwaves with us. What the fuck?
Fucking Bernie, Emmy Award winner, and then Peter. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Peter. But no, it was too fucking cool. I do miss that Laura wouldn't be able to be with us because I had a page. Yeah, I had a page and a half of questions for her, but hell, I didn't even get to the other page and a half of questions that I had for Terry or Peter or Devin. So
no, and you guys were great out there too with your questions tonight. Man. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Really solid
The audience was in there.
I wish we could have got to them all, man, but we'd be here till midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good questions. I was reading them I was like, damn.
Yep. And Colonel would have been, if we were here till midnight, Colonel would be impersonating Weekend at Bernie's by that point because he'd be asleep, at least.
Yep.
God's sakes.
Man,
that was fun.
So think about wearing shades.
I thought you might when we first started. I was just like, what's Colonel going to do tonight?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Colonel, did you get any takeaways from this? Did you learn anything about Roseblood that we didn't know before tonight?
I was trying not to think about it too much. I still don't want to say anything, but I'm still saying Dr. Cruz is in her head.
And that's what we didn't say, but I believe that's all of our take pretty much is like, this is going to be, those scenes with Dr. Cruz is definitely going to be in the brain, memories.
Pretty sure.
Or just delusional because she's in a bad way. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
We don't know anything about the plot, but that's what we think. We think it's in her head at this point. So, but we certainly want to know. We can't wait.
Don't forget. Also, he mentioned that there's still one surprise guest star to come.
I can't imagine, and I am gonna sit down and give a hard, unfettered look at Part 7, The New Blood, Kevin. I got it. And to see if I can notice anything, who might be appearing that we would want to know. You know what? I got it too.
Colonel knows.
Do you think?
I don't know for certain, but come on, we all Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder
in this damn thing.
It's got to be Kane Hodder. It's got to be.
Anthony's not going. Peter's not going to tell us. I'm sorry, I got so used to him calling Mr. Anthony. I'm starting to call him Anthony. So I know Peter's not going to tell us, but it has to be Kane. Has to be.
Listen,
it's going to be another.
It doesn't have to be, but that's the strong runner.
To me, it has to be because it's in here now. I want to be right.
The hard money is on.
I'm batting 1,000 with Candyman. Okay, I'm on a high right now from that. So
and Colonel, that's just what I was feeling, baby. I was all like, when he was talking, I was kind of, when he said that, I gave him the look. No, there's a video feed, but it's the first thing I thought. I went, oh fuck, it's Kane Hodder, isn't it? And it's probably just going to be something passing real quick. He just stopped.
I really hope it's like in the vein of Behind the Mask or Eyes Leslie Vernon, where it just turns and looks, and that's all you get.
Get off my lawn!
Oh man.
Well, that was way too fun. Guys, thank you for everyone for tuning in and joining us on that ride. It always gets a little crazy when, we have 4, 5, 6 people in here. But
overall, it was pretty good. It looked pretty good. It was, most people they weren't stepping too much on each other, although Peter was trying to say, hey, tell the story about the lion. And Terry was like, oh, yeah, I got a call. And then he's like, yeah, if you'll do it. It's like, he's going to say it. Let him say it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I think he's just excited to hear the story again. I think as we were for us to hear it for the first time.
Oh, no doubt. Ziggy, you remember that show? You probably don't, Colonel. No offense, but
I have no clue what that show is.
I don't specifically remember watching that episode. I probably did see it though. I bet you I did because we didn't miss shit like that back then. That was 3 channels, dude and dudettes.
Right. And that was live like twice a year or something.
Yeah.
So, those were always great. And that when people say, oh, you can't make a show like the Jeffersons anymore these days, or you can't make a show like All in the Family anymore these days. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. But I tell you, another one you can't do, Circus of the fucking Stars. That will never, ever happen again. You know how much liability and there'd be more lawyers in the audience than there would be, studio audience.
Man.
But anyway, let's wrap this up. Thank you one last time to our final girls and guys, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, and Tyrone, and to our crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Peter, and to our camp counselors, S. Michael, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you guys for helping support the society. If you want to support the society, you can do so at our website at deathcursesociety.com. And one last time, I'm going to throw... do I still have that link? Yes, I do. I'm going to throw the link to Roseblood's Legacy Campaign in the comments. Go and check that out. See if there are any perks that you cannot live without. And
plenty of stuff.
Get some.
Affordable. Yeah, it's affordable. There's plenty of shit in there you can get, from $20, $25, 30, 40, 50. And then if you're a hardcore man, they got some pretty decent collectible shit in there that you might need. I'm just saying, take a look. Screen-worn hockey masks and shit, man.
Right.
Yeah, if you're on the fence before tonight and you enjoyed them coming on the show, by all means, please support Roseblood.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a fan film by name, but you heard what he said. He's already so far in debt with this shit. He's spending every dime plus his own dimes on this shit to make it happen. So already he's well beyond the standard fan film. This is going to be something special, I think.
He's about 480,000 dimes in debt, according to the number he threw out earlier. So, yeah, help him out a little bit. One last thing I want to mention. I didn't really get a chance to talk about it too much earlier, but our buddies at Womp Stomp Films, Vincent and all those guys, they've got a short film that is also crowdfunding on Indiegogo. I want to mention called Judy. There's only 5 hours left in this. 5 for you hardcore fans. Make sure to go and check that out. That's another one I will throw the link out to. It's a short film that they're working on right now. And, we always try to push those as well. So thank you guys.
Some of his other shorts have been pretty fucking scary, man. So I expect more of the same.
Yeah. All right. Ziggy, send him out for the night. Tell him good night.
darn it, folks. Man, what a night. Thank you so much, guys. You kept the room popping. You kept the questions going. Hats off. Well done. The society is happening. And I don't think we have any guests lined up for a while. You're going to have to be stuck with just the three of us for a couple of weeks. But, hey, man, who knows what shenanigans. We haven't heard from Y&O in a while. So we're going to see what's going on. Oh, yeah, Colonel, you thought he was gone? No, dude. I'll give him the tease, man. What happens when Y&O does the milk crate challenge?
I was hoping he'd fucking get alcohol poisoning, just go away forever, but apparently we're not going to get that lucky.
No, he's just reinvented himself again, sir. He just needed a couple of weeks off.
And also, before I throw it to the Colonel, I want to say thank you to the new subscribers that jumped in and joined us tonight. Thank you guys for sticking around. Colonel, send them out.
All right, again, thanks for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Not sure what the topic is next week, but keep an eye peeled to our YouTube channel. So we have reviews coming for Candyman, Jason Rising, and a soon-to-be Shudder release, Superhost. So keep an eye on those. Those were a lot of fun, and look forward to your comments. Let us know what you think in the comments, because we love to talk horror and have friendly debates.
Oh God, and yeah, man, we had to ring in that Candyman review because there's some controversy surrounding this film as it is. How did we fit into it? You'll be able to see in a couple of days.
Yeah, you actually answered one of the last questions of the night that we got. From Pumpkin Man Forever, he says, "Have y'all seen Jason Rising yet?"
Yes.
Stick around. Give us about a week, and we'll have the review out for you. I think maybe even less than a week. It may be by Friday, depending on how much editing Ziggy and I and the Colonel can get done between there and now. So we'll see. But Colonel, you forgot something.
Oh, all right. I'm going to eventually change this up sometime soon, but until the world changes. And we're in the situation we're in, this will continue. So please do me a favor. Don't get sick. Wash your dick. And don't smell like a Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve.
I'll be honest. I've just changed it to, when I say it, don't get sick. Get your stick and wash your dick.
All right.
That's just, yeah. All right. Guys, one last time, thank you all for tuning in and watching. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Just by being here on Mondays helps us. One last time, thank you to Kevin Spirtas, Terry Kiser, and Peter Anthony. Apologies to Lar Park Lincoln. We ran out of time, but maybe next time.
Hopefully speedy recovery.
Yes, and a speedy recovery to Lar for that. Hopefully she gets to feeling better, and we will see her at a con real soon. But for the Colonel and Zigzag.
Jimmy Kimmel, you ain't.
Jimmy Kimmel wants his line back. I know.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I'm going to get off here so I can go fuck Matt Damon. And that's it. We'll see you next week on Monday Maniacs. Thanks for tuning in. Woo!